At the heart of my job is managing our database of all of the plants that grow in the Arboretum. So I like to tell people I'm like a plant librarian. I need to know what we have, where we had it, where it's growing, ideally where it came from, when it was planted, why we have it, and then using that information be able to make those connections between maybe what were the connections between the plants we have, and find gaps in our collection that perhaps we need to fill going forward. I love working with information and making those connections I mentioned. Like that gives me a way to understand what goes on around me. So I love that kind of work. But the fact that the work also takes me outside into the gardens, into the Arboretum, into other arboretums in the area, really is a perfect combination for me. Like the work I do is mostly office work, but it requires, seeing the plants, visiting them, mapping them, checking their health, measuring the size. So it's a great combination of inside, outside in the field that I love, which is plants and trees specifically. I get not only a reason to work with other plant people whom I love, but the feeling that I'm helping to direct our landscape going forward in determining what we should be adding, helping other people understand what we have here and why, answering questions from visitors about our plants, like all of that I feel is very meaningful and satisfying for me. I have a degree in horticulture from Penn State University, so I realized early on that I wanted to do something with plants and horticulture. I actually ended up working in the publishing field for a number of years, which was totally unrelated to plants, but I'm the kind of person I just kind of follow the leads where they go, so that was a good experience. But that's also how I realized I like working with information and data. It just suits my brain. So after that, for a while, I started working in public gardens as a horticulturist, and that brought me here a number of years ago, and I was working in the Arboretum as a horticulturist here, and then that eventually evolved into the Plant Records Curator position that I have now. Well, something people always ask me about, people I know in my sort of personal life outside of work, is there's really a gap, I think, in the field of landscape design, specifically in the realm of using native plants and managing stormwater runoff and adapting to our weather extremes that we've had. There are a lot of people out there in theory, on paper, who do landscape work, but landscape design, which I do not do, just for the record, but I admire people who do. Landscape design is really a very, it's an important field that has so much potential for people who are interested in working with plants and having these kind of meaningful, echoes in other environmental fields that I was describing. So landscape design is something I didn't understand was an option when I was younger, and I don't know if I would have been good at it, but there's a big need for folks to get into that.